first things about school is show and tell. It wasn't that long ago that Janelle took her electronic drum kit to school for show and tell, and she was the talk of her class for the day. And yes, we do have a long-term strategy at All Saints to develop more drummers, so I look forward to that. But I've got some show and tell for you today as well. Very excited about this. So here's my show and tell. We've been working very hard on this over the last couple of weeks, and here you see it, the All Saints Network COVID Safety Plan. It's very impressive. It's got lots of tabs and lots of information, and the best thing to come out of this, of course, is the All Saints COVID Safe Connect Groups Plan. And this details all that you need to know in order for your groups to be able to meet again. And that leads me to a really big announcement that I've been looking forward to making. So that's right. Hopefully you can, oh wait, hang on a second, I put that down the wrong way. I want to give you 3 dates for your diaries. 21st of June, 19th of July, 23rd of August. 21st of June, when Connect groups can begin gathering. July 19, where mid-sized groups will begin to gather. And finally, the 23rd of August, where all our congregations will begin again. So the first date is June 21st. That is this Sunday. That's right, from this Sunday, Connect groups are able to meet again in person. Mark, Gabby and Joe met online with Connect group leaders Sunday week ago and walked through the requirements that are needed in order for groups to meet in person. So we have put together COVID packs for each Connect group that contains everything necessary for groups to meet in person. These packs can be picked up from the office from this Friday. Connect group leaders will be reaching out to their Connect groups, if they haven't already, to talk through the gathering together again. It's important to state that some groups won't be meeting physically, though they'll be able to if they so desire, because they've already made the decision to continue to meet online at this point. Although the All Saints office has made it as clear as possible and as easy as possible to meet by providing everything you need, if Connect group leaders are stuck or unclear, feel free to get in touch with Mark Barry, who will help you. Equally, Connect groups will be able to meet together on a Sunday if you desire to go through digital church together. Let me take this opportunity again to make it clear that if you're not in a Connect group, but you'd like to be, like to try it, or even just want to participate during this season of reassimilation, please contact Mark or Gabby and they will assist you, and I'll put Mark's email address on the screen. The second date is Sunday the 19th of July. Hopefully by this date, all Connect groups that desire to will be well and truly back to meeting in person. From the 19th of July, we will be using our already established structure of community groups to facilitate gathering together in mid-sized groups of 20 up to around about 35 people. These gatherings will utilise the material that's prepared for digital church, but this will also allow aspects of corporate worship to be done live, for example, reading the scriptures or praying together. Over the next 4 weeks, those of you who are not in a Connect group but would like to be a part of a mid-sized gathering meeting for worship, you will be able to make that known, and we will ensure you are placed in one of our gatherings. We recognise, as many of you have communicated to us, that some people are not yet comfortable meeting in person at this stage. And so we want to let you know that we will continue throughout this time to provide digital church. The third date is Sunday, August 23rd, and all of our congregations across the network will resume on Sunday, 23rd August. Again, for those still not comfortable meeting at that point, whilst we haven't yet decided on a final solution, at the very least, we will provide a streamed service for you to tune into. The obvious question is, why the 23rd of August? Yes, some might ask the question, why not later? But more obvious, of course, is the question, why not sooner? Especially given that the state government has moved forward the easing of restrictions. Last week, they announced that from the 26th of June, indoor gatherings will be determined by density limits rather than head count. A couple of other significant changes will come into effect too. Whilst the density limit of one person per 4 square metres will still apply, the physical distancing rule of 1.5 metres will be rescinded. Also, the calculating of space is set to change too. Currently, the available space for meeting in a church must be calculated by the available seating area. For those of you who are a bit more old school, by the area of the nave. From the 26th of June, the one person per 4 square metres will apply to the total area of the building. This includes, for example, the altar or toilets or the foyer, the aisles. So given all this good news regarding restrictions, why aren't we beginning our services on the 28th of June? Why are we waiting until the 23rd of August? Well, there are a number of reasons for this, and whilst not exhaustive, here are the primary ones. Firstly, in stage 3 restrictions, which will begin on the 26th of June, vulnerable people are still encouraged to stay home and protect their health. You may be surprised to learn that the All Saints Network has a much higher proportion of people who fall into the category of vulnerable, myself included, than the average population. Heeding the government recommendations, we want to be good stewards of your health and safety. As such, we are introducing physical gatherings in a staged manner. We also want to use the existing structures of the network rather than increase the complexity of additional services and congregations simply to allow congregations to meet 4 to 6 weeks earlier. Hence the energy and the focus has been on providing the means for connect groups to resume, followed by mid-sized gatherings for worship of approximately 30 people around the pre-existing structure of community groups utilising digital church. And to be honest, the first reason is reason enough for the senior leadership to be confident that this is the appropriate way forward. But there is further rationale behind our planned return. This includes the fact that it will take several weeks to put together the additional protocol and requirements for meeting as congregations. This includes things like facilitating deep cleans after each service, whilst working through the reality that most of our volunteers who do clean are in the vulnerable category. We also want to avoid placing ushers in the awkward position of having to turn people away because they have a sniffle or because we've reached our physical limit, which is still a real possibility at City 10 a.m. We want to avoid the possibility of people queuing outside in the cold while we sign in each week. We also recognise that with the easing of restrictions comes the possibility of a reoccurrence of COVID-19 infections, and therefore the possibility that restrictions may be brought back. And whilst we might be accused of being overly cautious, we do believe that the disruption of congregations due to restrictions being returned is greater than the pain of waiting an additional 4 or so weeks. We know many of you will recognise that this is an appropriate way forward. We also acknowledge that many of you, though perhaps not overjoyed about having to wait, will be gracious and understanding in your response, knowing that we are working to accommodate the needs of many, particularly the large number of people who fall within the category of vulnerable and to whom we must exercise our duty of care. There will be some, however, who will be tempted to let their impatience and restlessness get the better of them. We feel for you the most, right? We really do. And we've heard some of your frustration. We pray that God will give us all the humility and patience and grace to continue in this present time, knowing that whilst August 23rd still seems some time away, it is good to have a firm date in mind. And in the meantime, we'll be working to enable Connect groups to resume next week, and know that you can even gather again in Connect groups for worship on Sunday to go through our online service together. And then mid-size gatherings for people for worship will be possible in a month from July 19. And we'll be giving you more information in the coming weeks as to how and where they will gather. As I said earlier, everyone who wants to gather will have the opportunity to do so. And be assured that those of you who are still heeding the government's recommendations to stay home, that we will continue to provide our digital church, our Going Deeper and other online resources as we seek to live life well together in Jesus. Finally, what about all our other ministries? We'll be working with the leaders of all our ministries in due course, and we'll communicate the plan for each in the coming weeks. Please share this video with members of our All Saints community, and know that we'll provide an equivalent written statement in this week's community news. We continue to pray for you, and can't wait, firstly, for gathering again in Connect groups, then in our mid-sized communities, and finally to be able to gather for worship on August 26th. In the meantime, keep loving God, keep loving people well, and I hope to see many of you on Sunday. Love and blessings. Bye.